This is the Gerry Callahan Show.
Well, Happy New Year. Happy 2025. Yes, it is finally here. 2025 is going to be a great year. I'm sorry. I feel like I might, maybe I'm being a sucker. Maybe I'm being a little gullible. I believe Donald Trump when he says we're heading to a new golden era, or at least a good year after what we went through the last 4 years. 2024 is in the books. I agree with Time Magazine, by the way. Time Magazine named Donald Trump Person of the Year. I think that was indisputable. Caitlin Clark, their Athlete of the Year. I agree on both counts. I think we can all agree the biggest story of 2024, the biggest day, was November 5th, when people rejected Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, the whole Democrat Party, and Trump won in a landslide, won all 7 swing states, won the popular vote, and things are going to change. I think the biggest moment of 2024, I think we can all agree on this too, what happened on July 13th when a young 20-year-old cook at a nursing home, and man, we don't know much about Thomas Crooks still, maybe we'll never know, took a shot at Donald Trump, hit him in the ear. Trump went down. It's one of those you remember where you were moments. I was watching live on Newsmax, sitting there. He gets shot. He goes down, and it felt like 10 minutes that he stayed down. I think it was more like 30 seconds, but I was screaming to my wife, come here, you got to see this. They shot Trump. And he went down covered with Secret Service agents. He got up again shortly thereafter, bleeding from the ear. I mean, you didn't know if he got hit in the head. Even then, you didn't know if it was just adrenaline and maybe he had taken a shot, got hit more than just his ear. He survived. That would be the most iconic picture of the year 2024, one of the most iconic pictures ever. Trump raising his fist, shouting, fight, fight, fight. That's one of those things that we'll see and hear about for the rest of our lives. I don't care how old you are. That was a moment frozen in time. There was a lot of those moments in 2024, and there'll be a lot more. I feel like in the next 18 days, Joe Biden's going to do as much damage to the country as he possibly can. There'll be more commutations and pardons. He spared the life of the 9/11 mastermind, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, earlier this week. Typical Biden, accommodating the worst of the worst people in the world. Those are his people. He doesn't care about victims. He cares about criminals like him and his son. But he will be gone soon, and it can't come soon enough. We will look back in shame on this year. I would say the biggest winner, obviously, everybody in the Trump camp. The biggest winners of 2024 were Elon Musk and RFK and Joe Rogan and everybody who joined Team Trump in victory. And obviously the biggest losers, Biden, Harris, the whole Democrat Party, and the media, the mainstream media, who lied to us for 4 years about the condition of Joe Biden. Hell, they lied about everything for 4 years in an effort to stop Trump. That's what it is all about. From the mainstream media, their goal, their objective each day when they wake up is, how do we stop Trump? They failed. That is the best thing that happened in 2024. The media failed. Everybody got to see the decline, the dementia in the president, even though they covered it up. One of the great scandals of our time. They lied to us. They told us he was tip-top, sharp as a tack, and we all could see with our own eyes that they were lying over and over again. And eventually they failed in their effort to stop Trump. And to me, another huge story, I think, to me, the most important issue in the campaign was immigration, illegal immigration, the intentional, the deliberate destruction of the southern border in an effort to import millions of illegal aliens. The Democrats didn't care that they imported criminals and terrorists and gang members. They were hoping they could get their votes, if not this year, soon, that they would change the demographic of the country. It was the most cynical, sinister thing a political party has ever done. We talked a lot about Joe Biden compared to Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was a terrible president, but he didn't intentionally destroy the border and wreak havoc in cities all over this country. The greatest political move of 2024 would be, and I guess 2023 would be what the governors did, sending illegal immigrants to the city, sending them up north, sending them to New York and Chicago, and letting everybody feel the pain. And everybody saw what they were doing, and that changed their minds. People said it's not just a problem for Texas and Arizona and California anymore. It was a problem in New York and Chicago and in Boston. And I thought it was a good time. It is a good time to revisit our interview with our friend Jon Featherston, who was a director of operations at a migrant hotel. This did not get nearly enough attention. It does not. Again, there's a concerted effort by the media to cover this up in Boston, in New York, everywhere. They don't want you to know what's really happening. And we got an inside look at what happens at these migrant shelters, these hotels. I think another thing we'll look back in amazement is that taxpayers were forced to foot the bill. In Massachusetts, it was over $1 billion for a small state, 6 million people, almost 7 million people. And it cost us over $1 billion to house, to shelter, to feed, to provide Ubers and culturally sensitive meals and healthcare and bus rides, you name it. They got it. They got the full Healy in Massachusetts. And what was happening is truly horrifying in these places. What we learned is they were ignoring crimes, violent crimes. They were the most vulnerable people. Kids were being harmed, and the media looked the other way. The Democrats, Maura Healey, the governor, looked the other way. Truly, truly infuriating, sickening, disgusting what they did, but they failed. And Tom Homan is coming. That could be my favorite thing to look forward to in 2025. Tom Homan is coming, as he says, day one, January 20th, to these places to round up the worst people in the world and force Democrat governors, Democrat mayors to protect illegal alien criminals, violent criminals, gang members. They're not going to stop them. They're going to try. They're not going to stop them. And I think America will stand and cheer for Tom Homan. Cannot wait. But we're going to listen to Jon Featherston explain what is going on in these places. It is horrifying. Check this out.
Excuse me.
Are you looking to cut costs and improve your business's bottom line? The best business operators have turned to Ramp to help them stop wasteful spending and improve their finance operations. Ramp is the corporate card and spend management software designed to help you save time and put money back in your pocket. With Ramp, spend policies are built into the card so you can prevent wasteful spending before it happens. You can customize spending limits and restrictions so employees are empowered to purchase what your business needs, and you have peace of mind. Ramp plays bad cop so you don't have to. Detecting policy violations, chasing missing documentation, requesting repayment, and locking down cards of non-compliant employees. Ramp helps you manage all your finance operations in one place. Card expenses, reimbursements, vendor payments, accounting automation, and a whole lot more. So you can see all your business spending in one place. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/Gerry. Ramp.com/Gerry. That's RAMP.com/Gerry. Card issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. Get $250 when you join Ramp. Go to ramp.com/Gerry. All right, let's do this before we get to Daniel Penny, the hero, the subway hero. He is speaking, and it is It is more infuriating than ever that they tried to put this great man in prison. Hopefully, he lives happily ever after somewhere other than New York City. But Jon Featherston was director of operations at a migrant shelter in Massachusetts, which is a sanctuary state full of sanctuary cities. It's a magnet for the worst of the worst. Almost daily, we hear about illegal alien criminals getting scooped up by ICE. It's probably where Tom Homan's going to start. It should be where Tom Homan's going to start on January 20th, because the state is overrun by illegal alien criminals, and no one knows better what's going on than Jon Featherston. Is John with us? There he is.
Hey, good morning, Jerry.
Good morning. Good
First
morning,
time,
John.
long time, right?
I called you a whistleblower. Would you consider yourself a whistleblower?
You know, Jerry, you and I have known each other for a long time, and I think you know that I'm a man of truth and honesty and public service. So I don't see myself as a whistleblower. I see myself as a concerned citizen. And I am truly, and we can talk about it, why I am concerned about every woman and child in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts because of what Maura Healey is doing right now. So I'm not a whistleblower. I'm just a guy who cares about people.
Tell me what your job was when you were involved with these migrant shelters.
Well, it was a three-ring circus every day, Jerry, because Governor Healey did not have a plan for the shelter system. Joe Biden and Maura Healey invited everybody to come to America, and more importantly, come to the only state in the country that has the right to shelter law. So there was no plan. It was crisis management 101. So from day one, you have a family show up. And I have to seriously go on the record here, Jerry, that 99% of the people I work with, good people, just coming to America, trying to make a better life for their family. And who wouldn't sign up for everything for free as an opportunity to do that? But we would sign them up, get them housing, get them food, get the kids enrolled in school, do social services for them, eventually then get them signed up for mass health, EBT cards, which is the politically correct word in Massachusetts for welfare system. We get them Social Security. We would sign them up with an asylum lawyer. We can talk a little bit about that and the hypocrisy of all that, and try to establish, a semi, productive life for the migrants that were invited by Maura Healey to come here. She had no plan for staffing. She has no plan for an exit strategy. And more importantly, Jerry, and because you live in the New England area, there's no housing in New England. There's no housing for, my two in the mid-20 children that they can afford without having 3 or 4 roommates. How is a migrant family going to come to Massachusetts and at best make minimum wage, afford a $2,000 a month apartment? And if you're a landlord, you're going to rent to them? No.
Did you know, or did you think they were vetted? I mean, did you know who the criminals were, who the bad guys were when you were putting them up in the hotels?
When Maura Healey says everybody is vetted, she's lying to the public. I can tell you, instances, and I won't give out specific names, but, just so we can keep track here. Say I get a call from the state or an email from the state saying, Gerry Callahan's going to come to the shelter tonight, and he's got a family of 4. Well, 5 o'clock, a family shows up in a taxpayer-funded Uber, and they come in, nice family. Hey, welcome. Who are you? Oh, well, I'm Ironhead. What? You're supposed to be Gerry Callahan. So let me call the state and find out what's going on. So you get somebody on the phone from the state, if you're lucky, and say, hey, listen, Gerry Callahan's not here. It's Ironhead. What do I do? Oh, just check him in. Well, should I hold something for, Gerry Callahan? No, don't worry about it. Well, what do you mean don't worry about it? Where's Gerry Callahan? We don't know. Don't worry about it. Just check him in. So then Ironhead comes in and gives me his ID. His name's not Ironhead. It's, Joe Smith. And you're like, wait a minute. Oh, hold on. Let me get you another ID. And then find me another ID. Not everyone. And I'm talking the extremes here. Not everyone, but multiple ones had multiple IDs. And because you were working with a lot of Haitian people, a Ronald Joseph could be Joseph Ronald in mail. And what do you get in the mail? You get all your government benefits. So I saw a lot of double dipping just right there because you would, flip a name or flip flip an A for an E. So there was a lot of corruption in the system. And you see all the articles about the EBT waste in Massachusetts. Well, just do the math. It was always bad. Don't get me wrong. It was always bad. But it's 3 times as bad now because you brought thousands of people here that are probably double dipping in the system.
I want to,
Jerry.
I want to get to some specifics here. I think I remember the number was $64 a day for food for
68.
each migrant. So a family of 4 would get $240 whatever dollars a day. Is that right?
Well, they wouldn't get well, let's break it down because I hope your audience has a calculator. So we would provide 3 meals a day for them, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, via hotel catering services, which the hotel would then bill back the Commonwealth on for $68 per person per day. So if you have 500 people in your shelter, do a quick calculation, 500 times 68. So you're spending $35,000 a day just to feed, the migrants but here's the problem, Jerry. They didn't like the food.
Oh, good.
So taxpayer money is funding a multi-million-dollar food operation that they don't care for. And we can talk all day long, I had many conversations with them over the months. Like, guys, you're not in Haiti anymore. I'm sorry you don't like the food, but if you don't like the food, you've got EBT benefits of a couple grand a month. Go to the ATM machine in the lobby and call DoorDash. They deliver. And that's what would happen. So the food would get wasted. And that's bad enough that it would get wasted. But it would sit in the hotel rooms. And what does food left out on a counter do in a hotel? It attracts rodents, it attracts bugs, it attracts cockroaches, fruit flies. So everything just compounds. And it's not all the math. It's all the down the stream problems that the math causes. Governor Healy tells you that it's $1 billion a year. I'm telling you, it's $2 billion a year.
Jesus.
And more importantly, and Jerry, I know you've had family members in education. What is the price tag of a good teacher in a school system? It's invaluable, right? You can't put a price tag on it. If your kid is lucky enough to have a good teacher that has the time to spend with your struggling child, like, hey, full disclosure, I was a struggling child in school. I needed a little extra help. Those kids aren't getting a little extra help now because you have a migrant crisis going on. But more importantly, you've got a stressed out teacher who just says, you know what? I've worked in the school system for 15, 20 years. I liked my job 2 years ago. I hate my job now. I'm going to go work in another school system where we don't have migrant shelters because I don't need this BS. And the same could be said about a police officer. Police officers like, do I have to go to the migrant shelter again today and get pushed and spit on? And do I have to tell people you can't drink in your car? I don't need this stuff. I'm just going to retire. So you lose a command force type police officer and you can't put a price tag on those things. And then we haven't even talked about the real reason I'm here, the crimes.
Yeah, let's talk about the crimes. Specifically, I want to get into one because it blew my mind. It still blows my mind that there was a guy, a migrant, an illegal alien, who raped his own daughter, and allegedly, and was not.
Well, I was in the room, and the story he tells, it wasn't allegedly, Jerry.
Okay, he raped his own daughter, and tell us what the Commonwealth did to this monster when they found out.
Well, they didn't do anything other than get kind of frustrated with me when I questioned them to like, you want me to do what? You want me to transfer him to another shelter tonight? Why isn't he being arrested? Oh, we'll figure all that out. Don't worry about it. Let's just transfer him. And I've been involved in local government most of my adult life. I literally looked at the police officer and said, we're in Middlesex County. If I transfer this guy to the shelter that you want me to transfer to in Worcester, that's a different district. That's a different district attorney. And the police officer's like, why are you worried about that? I'm like, because no DA is going to prosecute this if the crime didn't happen in his community. So now we have just moved this guy over the line. I mean, we could have moved him to another country for the lack of better terms. And they're like, yeah, we'll figure it all out. And I literally said to the police, the guy just admitted to me that he rapes his daughter. We're going to put him in a shelter? You think he's just going to stop raping people? I mean, this is outrageous.
So hold on right
Yep.
here, John. He's still in a migrant shelter. He's not been arrested. He's not in prison.
This was a couple months ago, but I can personally tell you I saw him at a car wash over the summer after this happened. And
can you tell me what? Just
and
your
according
theory.
to ICE, there's no retainer on him either. They don't know where he is.
What's your theory? Why? Why is a guy who raped his own daughter? Why was he transferred to a different shelter? Why is he still free? Why? Why is he not arrested? I mean, I understand that Democrats want to import future voters. There's some people that think this is compassionate, but there's no compassion when you let a guy, a rapist, a monster like this, not only go free, but I assume he's still getting all the benefits that come with being an illegal alien in Massachusetts.
Well, you bring up a very good point. The reason why they did it the way they did is, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, but it's a pretty educated opinion. You didn't want the optic of this. And you just look at the response to now that this story is coming out, and thank you for the opportunity to come here to tell the story today. Local media is not touching this. And you just have to say to yourself, why is the local Boston, Massachusetts media not talking about this? Are they under orders not to touch this? Because only national people like yourself are talking about this. So she doesn't want the optic because she doesn't know what to do. She didn't know, she didn't have a plan.
So this good liberal woman doesn't want the optic of an illegal alien arrested for raping his own daughter. Can you tell me how old the girl is?
The specific girl that we're talking about here was 13. She's now 14 now.
So a 14-year-old, and she's still in the shelter, I assume, in the hotel.
No, DCF removed her from the shelter and put her into another facility.
For her own protection.
But Jerry, you're kind of burying the lead. Not only was he raping her, she's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Correct.
And he's free.
To the best of my knowledge, yes. And I've talked to other reporters who have told me, they certainly don't call me, but ICE has said that they don't know where this guy is.
Unbelievable. It's incredible.
And it's not the only incident, Jerry. There's multiple instances there.
Right. We talked a lot about the guy in Rockland who raped a 15-year-old disabled girl. I believe he was arrested, though, correct?
He was arrested and then let out on bond. I mean, are you thoroughly convinced that he's going to be held accountable? Because I think he's just going to sneak away. Like so many other people have just snuck away.
And I guess the big question is, what happens on January 20th? What happens when Tom Homan's people come into the Commonwealth and start doing their job, removing these people, these dangers to the community, or attempting to remove them? What is Maura Healey and these other elected Democrats whose whole mission in life is protecting these terrible people? What's going to happen?
Well, Jerry, my hope is that Santa Claus brings them some common sense for Christmas, because right after Christmas, this thing is going to start rearing its ugly head, and it's going to be chaos, Jerry, because if Maura Healey and Mayor Wu really do stick to their posturing, as I call it right now, and say that they're not going to participate, Homan's still going to come in and do his job.
Right.
And I don't care if you are the wackiest liberal Democrat, living in Cambridge or living in Boston, and you're entitled to your political beliefs. Nobody wants a rapist living in their neighborhood that could potentially rape their child, potentially rape their grandkids, a loved one. I literally had people from the school call me and should we be worried about this? Yeah, you should be worried about this. Well, what should we do? And I'm like, call the police. If he's there picking up his kid, get a restraining order. Don't let him allow on your property. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Helping the migrants is a very controversial subject. We can all agree on that. It's a very controversial subject. But I go back to what I'm saying. Most of the migrants are good people, and they just came here because they were invited and told everything was free. Who wouldn't come for that? But the small percentage of people that are the horrible people, like what we're talking about here today, do you think they just picked up a life of crime or no morals or no ethics? once they got into Massachusetts? No, they've been like this for a long time. So there are tons of criminals walking the street. And Maura Healey goes on MSNBC and says, I'm going to do everything in my powers to protect these people.
It's insane. It's just insane. I mean, and here's the biggest problem, John. People voted for this. They voted for more of this. They knew on November 5th, they knew that one side wanted to continue this, to continue the invasion of the southern border, continue all these benefits, continue putting them up in hotels. And in Massachusetts, they voted overwhelmingly to continue this. I hate to say it, but you get what you vote for. And this is what people in Massachusetts voted for.
And Gerry, I have reached out. I think I've told the story, but I'll tell it again. I had the opportunity to go to the Army-Navy game last year when I was at Gillette Stadium, and I was covering it, because we actually did a small documentary on the Army-Navy game. I'm a big history buff and a big, supporter of the military. And I turn around, I'm in the Navy end zone, and Maura Healey goes, "Hi, John." And I was like, "Oh, Governor, I got to talk to you. Like, can I talk to you?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm really struggling in the migrant shelter, and, I really want to get together and set up a task force and, try to come up with a, proactive plan to get ahead of these problems." And keep in mind, this is a couple of months before any of these, heinous crimes were committed. This was just like, I couldn't handle the paperwork. I couldn't handle the staffing. I couldn't handle just the day-to-day operations. "Oh, call my office on Monday. We'll talk, John. We'll talk." Okay. Monday morning, naive, Boy Scout Jon Featherston calls the governor's office. "Oh, can I, the governor told me to call, can I leave a message?" "Yep." Wednesday comes around, I call again. The following Monday, I call again. Because I'm connected, politically in Massachusetts, I run into the lieutenant governor and say, "Hey, I've been trying to get a hold of the governor. Can you, give her a message?" "Oh, yeah. Well, what is that, Gerry? It's 11 months, and if the phone don't ring, it's Maura Healey.
Well, all right, before we let you go, we got to hear about the cat soup. The cat soup, did you make it yourself, or who was in charge of making cat soup, which was requested by a migrant?
Multiple migrants, Gerry.
Multiple migrants.
As I earlier indicated, they didn't like the food, and maybe if you and I went to Haiti today, maybe we wouldn't like the cuisine that we were given either for free. So I mean, I think it's a legitimate conversation, and I think I'm a legitimately, meet you in the middle type of guy. So I sit down and say, "Hey, listen, why don't you get 5 or 6 representatives and come in, and we'll have a meeting, and we'll talk about maybe menu planning, because like I said, I want to make it the best situation we have." And at first it just turns into, well, you're racist because you don't provide us, sensitive meals, and you don't respect our culture. I'm like, guys, I'm working with, a budget. I don't even make the meals. The staff makes the meals. I don't make the meals. I'm kind of just like the in-between, trying to, bridge it together. What do you want? Well, what about cat stew? Excuse me? Like, did you say cat stew? Yeah. In our country, cat stew is very popular. Well, guys, we can't make cat stew here. Well, why not? You said you want to make a menu for us. And I'm like, guys, you're in America. We have cats as pets here. We don't eat cats here. Well, you're being disrespectful. You're not respecting us. So we agreed on a goat that we would not do cat stew, but we would do goat stew. So, the major media owes J.D. Vance an apology because he wasn't wrong.
Wow. That is incredible. I didn't read that in the Boston Globe. Did I miss it?
No, Gerry, you didn't miss it because it doesn't exist.
It's incredible.
It doesn't exist because, like I say, no local media wants to touch this. No local media wants to touch it.
And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. I mean, we're still a
Gerry,
sanctuary state.
The stuff I'm talking about is the stuff I can talk about because the main wire was the one who broke all of this. There are other things that I would love to tell you, but I can't.
Well, hopefully we'll soon enough. It's just incredible. And maybe people are waking up. Maybe people will understand the threat we have here, that there are rapists being set free because they're illegal aliens, because they have privilege in the state of Massachusetts, because our system is just so upside down and backwards, because our governor, our mayor have just the most twisted priorities. and they're not protecting their residents. Their citizens. They're prioritizing their undocumented newcomers over their taxpayers. Just madness. But anyway, Jon Featherston, we appreciate it. Former director of what, Migrant Services?
Mm-hmm. Operations, right?
Yep. Migrant operations.
But Gerry, thank you, and thank you to Newsmax for getting the story out, because the people just need to know. They can make their own decisions afterwards, but the story at least needs to be told. So thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Indeed. Thanks a lot, Jon. We appreciate it. That is Jon Featherston, former director of Migrant Operations, blowing the whistle on what's going on in Massachusetts. That is just mind-blowing. I heard about it and said, this can't be true. Forget the cat stew. That's bad enough. But the guy who impregnated his daughter was not arrested. He was put in an Uber and transferred to a different shelter. That's what's going on in the sanctuary state of Massachusetts. But we'll be following it because it's going to get worse. They're doubling down. They're ready to go to battle with Tom Homan, and they're gonna do what they do. They're going to protect the worst of the worst: illegal alien criminals, rapists, drug dealers. That's what we do in Massachusetts. We protect these horrible people. All right, we got much more to get to. We got to get to Brad. We got to get to Danny Penny, American hero, and Caitlin Clark. Oh God, I'm so disappointed. Caitlin, no, say it ain't so. We'll tell you what Caitlin Clark, Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year, said to Time about her privilege. God help us.
Excuse me.
Do you wake up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, or ringing in your ears from grinding and clenching your teeth at night? I've been through this. It's fairly common, and dentists charge $600 for a bruxism night guard. Many people are now discovering the Brux Night Guard. Unlike regular night guards that go all the way to the back of the teeth, Brux Night Guard only covers the front teeth. This unique design is what sets Brux Night Guard apart from all other guards. It only covers the front teeth, so the bite force is directed away from the back, where many people grind and clench, to help reduce jaw pain and still protect the teeth. You mold it at home to the top and bottom teeth. And unlike other guards, it is made in America and uses 2 materials for added durability. Order a Brux Night Guard today and use the code MAX22 to get 10% off plus free shipping. Go to bruxnightguard.com and enter the code word MAX22. All right, that will do it. I still can't believe that. A man impregnated his daughter in a migrant shelter, in a migrant hotel, an illegal alien. And what they do, they transferred him to a different hotel. Man, talk about paying the price for your crimes. That is just insane. That is crazy. What's going on? Hopefully, we will see an end to that soon. Tom Homan and his team will go in there and bring an end to this madness. But we will soon find out. Can't wait. 18 days. All right, that'll do it. Thanks to everybody for watching today and every day on Free Speech Rumble. Wow, look at this Ironhead. We get the other day, our last show, 38,000 on Free Speech Rumble, another 28,000 on Twitter. We are rolling, my friend, and we will keep it rolling into 2025. It's going to be a crazy year. Can't wait. I'm excited. I am really excited about this year.
Very giddy for the 20th.
I am. I mean, January 20th is just going to be wild. Although it hurts me that Ayanna Pressley announced she's not going to go to the inauguration. She's going to boycott. Gee, that'll just ruin everything. She won't be there. A bunch of Democrats are like, I'm not going. Like, who cares?
Isn't it Martin Luther King Jr. Day too?
Oh,
so everyone's going to be off.
That's true. And it's just going to be crazy in DC that day. It's going to be crazy. I still want to know where Antifa and BLM and all the people that I thought, that's one thing I got wrong. I will admit, in 2024, I thought that cities would burn if Trump won. And it didn't happen. They were just so defeated, just demoralized. They didn't even take to the streets like they did in 2016 or 2020. It didn't happen. Maybe it will on January 20th. We will see. But that will do it for today. Thanks to everyone for listening, for watching. We appreciate your support. We really do. I'm Gerry Callahan. This is The Callahan Show, and we will do it again tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God. Is she crazy?
Thank you. Thank you
Wow.
all. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone.